Hi, Andy. I'm so excited, for real. I think that I'm probably like your biggest fan, and you probably have already seen me in a bunch of concerts, and maybe you've read like my 200 letters that I've sent you. And Dad, stop it, please go away, Dad. Like, yeah, that was my dad. I'm sorry, don't mind him. He's almost leaving. Sorry, I was saying that I'm like your biggest fan and I know absolutely everything about you. I know that when you're not on tour with Menudo, you are, you like to paint and I like to paint too. Isn't that freaking crazy? When I was 14 and my sister was 13, we won a dinner with Menudo at Burger King. A very fine establishment that was very in the 90s in the Dominican Republic. And as you saw, my dad was always there with us. I guess that, it was very important that we were with Menudo, especially because if you don't know what Menudo is, where have you been all your life? Any one-on-one time that I could get was precious. And apparently it was also for my dad because he was at Burger King with us. Luckily, the other part of the week, it was with my mom, and my mom was completely the opposite. My mom was like the most chill person that you can imagine. She didn't ask any questions. We can go see Menudo, we can go to any party and get back home at whatever time. She did not care. The only thing she cared about was money, because she was a single mother and she was struggling. Her job was like not enough to give us the lifestyle that she thought we deserved or that we needed. In my mom's head, the only thing that would change our situation was if we just moved to the United States. And her sister, my aunt, moved to Washington, D.C. in the 80s. And in 1989, she became an American citizen. And she put a petition for my mom to get a green card. And since that moment, every year, my mom thought that was the year that we were going to move to the United States. That was not the year. Every year, every January, she would sit down with us and was like, this is the year. One year, she sold all the living room furniture because, she wanted to speed the process and we were about to move. That was not the year. I got a student loan. And when everything was approved, I'm like, well, maybe I can go on a vacation before starting school. That'd be great. Oh, yeah, I don't have any money to do that. I sold my car, and I made plans. I booked my ticket. I rented an apartment in Paris for a whole month, and that's what I was going to do. And suddenly my mom calls me and says, we just got the letter. The United States consulate, finally, after 16 years, wants to see us to interview for our green cards. Excellent. I'm leaving. What am I supposed to do? So he's coming, and I know he's from Spain, so I'm going to be Spanish for today. Hola Jaime, ¿cómo estás? Sí, soy Vanessa, encantadísima. Bueno, sí, es que acabo de llegar y me la estoy pasando divino. Oh, you know I'm Dominican. Okay. Bueno, es que a mí se me pegan todos los acentos. O sea, esta mañana yo estaba con mis amigos boricuas y ya yo estaba diciendo, ay bendito. Es más, ahora mismo yo estoy con el vale. Todo para mí es vale y es porque se me pegan los acentos. That's it. Barcelona is now home. And it was home for 2 years, and I loved it. And I wish I would have been able to stay, but, struggling to find the way to extend my visa and struggling to find a real job to pay my real bills was tough. So I decided that maybe it was time to move on. And I applied to jobs in the United States because I have a green card. I can go anywhere I want, where they would want me, right? And I was really hoping to get a job in New York, but I didn't. I got a job in Washington, D.C., which was okay, I guess. And it was pretty okay. I was a little worried because I didn't know anyone but my aunt and uncle. And they're great. I love them. They're like my parents in the United States. She was also very adamant that I should have a boyfriend. So she tried to set me up on so many dates. And one time she calls me and she goes, Vanessa, I just met your next boyfriend. Tell me about it. Well, guess who he looks like? Tell me about it. El doctorcito de Grey's Anatomy. The little doctor of Grey's Anatomy, which she means Patrick Dempsey. And I went out to with Patrick Dempsey wannabe. I packed my U-Haul and I drove to New York. And after 6 hours driving, I got to my little apartment. So tiny. So tiny. Nothing was quite fitting, but I'm trying to make it work. And again, I'm feeling very anxious, and I'm about to have one of those, but no. I stop myself. I look myself in the mirror, and I tell myself, it's time to make it work. Okay? This is all you wanted. You're in New York, bitch.